All right, welcome everybody to the good old game we got going on of TSI versus InfernoWolf. Woo, yeah. I don't have anything to look at, just so you know, but we're gonna be getting into game here in about, I want to say 3 minutes. Is that right? 9:30.
Yeah.
We're gonna be gaming. It's gonna be awesome.
You got me cracking up right now, bro. All right. Yeah. But we're currently setting up lobby and everything. So as of week one, going through both TSI and Inferno Wolf are 0-1 in the season. So this will definitely see which team's going to come out on top. Inferno Wolf went 0-2 in week one, and TSI went 1-2 in week one. So definitely interested in seeing some competition tonight. And
Yeah, I see it's a Battle of the Titans for week 2, isn't it? Or week, is this week 3? Week 3?
I think they're more of like the middle ground. I don't think they're Titans, because Titans would be like 2 O's.
Hey man, they're just showing the other teams that they don't
Right.
need
They
the
don't need
good
week one.
seeding to win the
Right.
end.
They don't need week one.
Gotta get all the
But
bugs out.
a little bit of highlights. We're definitely going to be looking at the brothers in the bot lane. It's Brett versus Brendan, the two Bs.
Oh shoot, okay, that's big.
I'm interested to see how many times Brendan will kill Brett and how many times Brett will hook Brendan if they play hook champ.
So, according to the roster, Brett is a sub. Is he playing tonight then?
I
Like,
believe
officially?
so. The lineups I have tonight, I had a whole entire sheet and everything. I don't know where it went. But the lineups we have for tonight, for game one at least, and something unless something changed. In the top lane, we have Smuggler versus Ajuka.
Okay, okay.
We have Godwick versus King in the jungle. In the mid lane, we have a Guri versus Sinja, a common matchup. They've played against each other at least 100 times between the first season and now this season.
I see. Okay, so a
So
little
we
bit
got
of
a
a
little bit of
grudge
a
match.
rivalry. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit of a rivalry. We got in the ADC, we got Brendan versus Ronnie. And in support, I guess we have Brett instead of Sid. So it's Sid versus Brett in the support position. So
Okay, okay. And
we're
then,
definitely
if you have any,
each
since
in
you were
this.
just talking about the mid lane matchup, is there any lore between these teams or in general?
Most of the lore between these two teams is just from previous seasons. The Brotherhood in the bot lane, and then I guess you also got the rivalry between Aguri and Sinja fighting for the best mid laner in the league. I'm really intrigued to see what they'll pull through with these new teams. We knew Aguri has been playing with TSI for quite some time now. Sinja having to move around his team and getting them all built up.
I was
So
gonna ask if
definitely,
they were the same team as last season, but obviously not.
no, it is not. Sinja was on Goblins last season, came in second place in the overall season.
Was that to TSI?
No, they lost. They ended up losing to I don't know. I'm brain farting on the team that beat me, but Aguri was on the winning team, so it definitely is going back to last season. Some
I see. I
a
see.
little bit of
Okay.
grudges between the two of them, so we'll definitely see some pretty interesting matchups.
Nice. I am hype. I'm amped, pumped, if you will. Let's see. So,
So it does seem that there is a possible loss of first round because we have Keegsy subbing in for jungle last minute.
so when you say a loss of first round, do you mean first round ban
So
or
first
first
round bans,
game?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
It is first round bans. We will see that in a minute as draft is starting. It looks like about to start.
Can I
So
have a spectator link for that
I,
or something? I'm
I
not.
will
Or just share your screen. That works too.
I will give you the lovely
Nice.
screen share.
Big.
All right, so we're definitely looking at a little bit of interesting picks. Definitely on the side of bans, TSI is definitely going to be looking to possibly ban the Katarina out. It's definitely a little interesting to see what other kind of bans come through. I'm very enticed to see possibly a Melio or a Thresh ban for support role by TSI.
It seems
And
like looking at their past team comps, TSI is very fond of like team fighting and either hard lockdown or zone control with their team comps.
definitely the Sejuani Lissandra combo they got between Godwick and Aguri is really huge and is really showing. I'm really enticed to see if either a Malphite or a Renekton is picked topside, because those are two of Smuggler's top-notch picks. So, and both are really good with that combo as well. But we might see a Sejuani ban coming through against TSI. Same thing with Lissandra. But the problem with banning Lissandra, that still leaves out Anivia and Vigar, which are two huge picks for Guri.
And they're equally huge with zone control.
Definitely.
Just a little less point and click, you know?
In this sense of bot side, for the ADCs, Varus ban for Brendan, I think that is a really strong ban that they could throw out there. When it comes to Inferno, however, I am not too sure what they would look for. There's a lot of opportunities. Ronnie has a very decent sized pool.
So something that I'm noticing is that just kind of across the board with a lot of the teams, Ashe has picked up a lot for everybody. Both for Inferno and TSI and everyone else that I've seen. Like, that's just
this league's comfort pick is Ashe. And that is really interesting since Kai'Sa's in a very not as strong position, but still is a strong pick. And Ashe counters Kai'Sa and counters a lot of immobile champs early.
Interesting.
So it's definitely a good pick. And I wouldn't be surprised if it either gets a ban or a first pick this game. So it definitely looks like TSI is on blue side this game. And Inferno is on red side. So we're going to be seeing the counter pick for Inferno. Let me just verify.
Get to rock and roll, okay. So I don't see many. It doesn't seem like there's any one tricks on either team.
Sure, most of it's like 2 or 3 tricks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It seems like there's a lot of
tricks. I mean, we could look at Godwick's Warwick one trick.
I mean,
it definitely just comes in the name with his solo queue mentality there. But he's
ability
to play Maokai, Hecarim, Sejuani. He could play Vi as well. A lot of different opportunities with that.
Hey, fair enough, man. He's a multi-champ talent. That's what we like to call him in the business. So I'm kind of amped to see what we got going on.
Definitely. So clarification, they dismissed the first ban of the first 3 bans. That's the only ban.
Or was it TSI or for Inferno?
Inferno misses out just because the last minute sub ends up taking away that. So it does seem. Go ahead and switch to that. They are looking to start here soon. They're readying up.
So, speaking of the Warwick, do you think that they're going to leave it open for like first round pick?
I definitely think it's a possibility. I'm not too sure exactly what Kixi plays. I could quickly look up real quick. So he does play a little bit of everything in the jungle. I don't see anything that's. I don't think that's Kai'Sa jungle. He does play Kai'Sa, but I think that's an ADC pick. I definitely see a possibility. So it does seem that the Katarina was the first ban to go through. TSI not letting Sinja on his solo duo endeavor.
Shame.
And then they have to let the first ban go through. So that's going to be a no ban for first game for Inferno. I'm definitely, if a Warwick is picked, Viego is a really strong pick into Warwick. Same with Maokai. So he definitely has a couple picks that are strong into a Warwick. But I do think TSI is going to go with the common thread of their team fight.
I agree. I think it's just way too hard to pass up, especially when they got TSI in the name for the most part, so it's kind of hard to pass up Team Wombo Combo. It's not like they're going to be playing for split push very frequently. At
So it
least I
does
don't think
seem
so.
that mid is just getting target banned for both teams. That is Aguri's Anivia gone and Sinja's LeBlanc. There is a Braum ban, and there
Yeah.
goes the Vigar as well. It does seem
Rightfully so.
they did leave the Lissandra open.
Maybe not intentionally though. It might have been their
I
first
mean,
ban
they
that they
they
weren't
might
allowed
have
to.
planned on banning it, but it might not be on the priority list over it. It does seem a Varus first pick, not surprising. Brendan's very comfortable with Varus, and they let it slide. So definitely with counters against Varus, I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ashe. Ashe does okay into it. At the same time, possibly looking to get a little bit something special going with the ADC pick. They might just pick support here because it's a very easy pick. We'll see here. As they do pick up
And
the
how about
Ashe,
that?
as
How about
predictable.
that?
The Ashe pick coming again with slash all.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Milia, and there
Yep,
it is.
there's the
Yep.
Milio coming through.
Well, it's a pretty easy bot side. It's very easy to blind pick, in my opinion, and it leaves everything else, up to chance where they don't have to blind their mid laner, even though it's likely going to be probably the Lissandra or something of the sort. And they don't have to blind top, which sounds atrocious, but
I don't
Smuggler
know.
does play Aatrox. He plays all the good stuff, Gangplank. He can't counter that stuff, so he's fine. He's chilling.
It
But
does seem to be a possible Soraka pick for the support. It does seem they're going poke into disengage, so this is definitely going to be a very boring bot lane
yeah,
to watch
for real.
as both sides scale and both sides have huge disengage.
Unless we get some Battle Rocka action, but I don't feel
Definitely
like that's
constant
gonna
poking
happen.
rock. Oh, and it does look like a J4 in the jungle, so they're still sticking with the team fight, but doing a little bit different this time for TSI. They seem to playing around their ultimates and poking into engage.
So I wouldn't be
Definitely.
surprised if we actually get, and there's the Aatrox, but I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised if we get an Orianna mid. That seems like a very zone control-y, put the ball on Jarvan, jump in, VAR assault.
so
But
it
I don't know
does
if he
seem
played great.
Aatrox was picked. I'm assuming that's going top.
Everybody,
To
no
try
one
to keep
plays
it
off
from being
meta.
banned. It is
You
a possible ban, but Jax was banned to counter the Aatrox, which Jax does really well into Aatrox. So I wonder if Smuggler doesn't play a lot of Kled, so we probably won't see a Kled ban. It does seem that they're not gonna. They're looking to put more bans into Sinja now.
interesting.
Definitely Silas over Neferi.
I think that's smart because of the
And
fact
there's
that
the
they already have
Renekton because
quite a lot of
Renekton.
AD.
So they are. That is definitely an Aatrox top. That's a very smart pick because Aatrox is a possible ban for their top laner. So that kind of gives rid of the possibility that he gets
True, just
banned
kind of.
out.
It's
And
kind of like an additional ban, right? Since they
yeah,
lost one, but they take his champ, so it's not too bad.
and then they take out a couple of counters and
See, surely they pick jungle here because that way they give their
yes,
mid
they get the
laner
counter pick on
something.
the jungle here, and then still get the counter pick on the mid laner as well. So definitely intrigued to see.
So it looks like likely in the mid lane we're probably gonna have in my mind right now they're gonna have a hyper carry mid lane AP champ and then just some bulky top
They are
lane that can do front
definitely
line.
they are definitely needing heavy AP for Inferno. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Syndra coming through.
Unless I'm just saying they could whip out the AP Varus. I'm just saying it's potential. But if they go
There's your
Malphite,
AP right
Orianna
there.
here would be beautiful.
Malphite. I don't think they even need to go the Orianna here. I definitely with a Malphite, when you're playing Malphite into Aatrox, into that heavy of a team, AD team already, Malphite kind of just does a lot of damage on his own.
True.
And they definitely do need some more AP unless they're looking for AP Varus angle. But Lethality Varus is a little bit stronger in current meta, so I'm kind of curious to see what mid laner they pick. It might be the Orianna to get some more ult action. Ooh, a Kassadin? A little bit more of a carry position for a Guri. That's a little bit uncommon to see with him. I have not seen him play that kind of role, and
definitely interesting on both teams right now. There's like no wave clear at all.
Wave clear is definitely a little interesting, and there's the buff to Kali coming through or Syndra or Sinja English.
I think honestly, although the Kassadin is kind of awkward because, as I said, they've got no wave clear and they don't have much range outside of Varus. He is oddly enough really, really good into AD like team comps like this because Frozen Heart is so incredibly good on the champion that it's
even just rushing Thornmail against their comp will be very brutal. And then for Kassadin, I thought you meant for Malphite.
No, Kassadin's crazy.
Definitely, but he could just run Zhonya's, and that pretty much fills up the armor slot for him.
But interesting team comps overall. I think just looking at this, I think Inferno wins the draft slightly. Honestly, only because of the wave clear situation, and they have more potential to snowball.
They definitely pulled out a LCK style comp with the Viego, Nico, Milio, Ash. The Aatrox kind of an LCS sprinkle of salt on there. But if we definitely look over at TSI, they definitely have a very structured comp. They are playing around their ults. They're playing around their CC from Malphite and J4. They're playing a decent amount of poke. Kassadin gets a good flank and fight. It's going to go pretty well.
So, looking at the team comps as well, something that's just kind of awkward is they don't really have any hard engage. So, sorry, TSI doesn't have any hard engage other than Malphite and Jarvan, right? So, before 6, Jarvan is the only thing they can do, and he doesn't really have an angle to reliably gank anyone because top lane's just going to go even and be like boring no matter what. You don't want a strong side Malphite. Kassadin obviously can't do much into Nico just in general, and then bot lane, Ash Milio can just hard disengage. So if InfernoWolf just kind of plays to farm, like blue team can't really do anything early.
Both teams are fairly good scaling teams, and they definitely can go in directions for late game. True. I think, as you were saying, Inferno definitely has a little bit stronger of an early game, but that can be easily turned for TSI.
True.
TSI can easily turn and get a really strong early game, especially if the Varus is getting killed, especially if the J4 is getting kills. If Malphite gets ahead in lane, Aatrox becomes absolutely useless. Kassadin just plays for the scaling, so they have good scaling. Raka heals a lot later in the game. But on the other side, Inferno has Viego. A single kill on the Kassadin or Malphite, possibly even the J4, the game just turns completely if they get behind. You got Nico, so you got to be constantly watching out. If Nico's missing, you got to watch those waves. You got to watch for those random blue buffs walking into your lane. There's a lot of different chaotic stuff.
So I will give a pro tip for all those people that play against Nico and hate it. If you're ever expecting, like if you don't see Nico anywhere and a wave's coming in, if you just hit tab, if there's a question mark on her portrait, it means she's not in the wave. But if you hit tab and the wave comes in and you don't see that question mark, it means she is one of the minions.
This man's giving pointers to TSI pre-game right now.
Broken. Sorry, my
bad.
I
think definitely if the game is starting, so I think we'll head over to a quick break before the game starts.
That's good.
It looks like we are in game now, guys. So both teams are looking to do some form of 5-point. It's a little wonky from TSI's angle with Aguri and Brendan standing on top of each other. And there's the generous Brendan saying, "Good luck, brother."
Beautiful, beautiful.
To each other. Good sportsmanship. There will be no hooks from Brett this game, so we will not be counting how many hooks, but we could definitely count how many times Brett does land comment on Brendan this game.
Yeah, there you go. So I will say it's interesting. We got double TP on top and mid for both teams. Ashe has the ghost. Meanwhile, Varus has cleanse for those nasty Ashe arrows. So there's a little bit more aggression on the red side, but once again, I highly doubt much is gonna happen down there. Looks like they're fake leashing on the blue team. Try to make it a little bit hard for red team to know what's going on. And I think honestly, looking at the lane state right now, red team has a little more flexibility where you can gank the Malphite early before 6 since he's not tanky and you do have potential to do something. But I think realistically, both teams should be playing around bot side this game because of the fact that that's kind of their win condition. If you kill the Malphite on the Aatrox, sure, it helps a little bit, but it's not going to be make or break for that lane, really. But controlling the bot side of the map and then controlling the dragons can definitely shift the tempo in red team's favor, for sure. But since blue team's the one that's doing it, it's going to be interesting. Maps are going to be split. He might do a cheeky 3-camp gank into top side or mid, and then reverse clear back down bottom. That would put him a little bit behind the Jarvan, but he would still be around there for the counter gank. I think a lot of this game is going to be ganks and counter ganks. Like
Definitely.
That should be what determines it.
Back to what the clearing was, we're looking at a lot of TSI's common things with Godwick starting alone with camps. But also with the easy ganks, we're looking at a possible gank onto Aguri by Keeksy. A W going through. Hits Aguri. Damage is going in onto Aguri. That is a flash down on the Viego, getting the kill. No. That is first blood down to Viego.
That was so greedy from Aguri. He just held his flash forever for no real reason. He could have just been out immediately. But it does mean that he can't really be reganked easily since he does have the flash up. But I don't think there was any necessity to, or any reason to give up that first blood, really.
There is a deep ward in blue side by Keegsy. We're definitely looking at a little bit of trading in all the lanes. Ajuka's doing a lot of damage to Smuggler. Smuggler's running low on mana. But at the same time, the bot side, we have Godwick looking to make a play bot side, possibly. There's just minor poking. Ashe is looking a little low on mana, about half. We do have Keegsy top side. I wonder how long Godwick's going to be trying to stick in this bush to see. There is no vision for InfernoWolf. So Godwick
but they do know that they do know he's bot side because of the ward that Keegsy put down. This is definitely a really good potential gank opportunity, but the minion wave is so small. He's going to have to be here forever. So it does look
Keegsy's going to try to stop Smuggler's back. At the same time, Ajuka's looking to shove it. It might be a tower dive in a few seconds.
I think this is really.
Looks like they are stopping it. Keeksy's going in for some quick damage, taking a couple turret shots, takes 3 turret shots. He's down to a low HP. That is Ajuka going in with the Q and then flashing out. 1 HP left.
Wow, that was
successful tower dive for InfernoWolf.
Wow.
Keeksy's definitely putting some pressure onto the map right now. It does look like Godwick was not able to do anything bot side against Ronnie and Brett.
I mean, that is definitely his one window of opportunity for ganking this top side, especially because of the fact that next time he'll be anywhere near there, Malphite will be 6, and he can always just ult out of the fight. Plus, he's going to be back on the bot side now for Dragon in about 10 seconds. So realistically, if he goes Gromp, he can go Gromp immediately into Drag if he's feeling cheeky with the bot and mid prio.
A lot of damage onto Aguri from Sinja's Electrocute combo. But Sinja is running a little bit low on mana, so he's not able to quite pinch him out quite yet. It does seem Drag is up. Bot side has prio. Neither bots have backed. And Sinja does have a shove, but does need to back. That's some damage onto Aguri. Does Aguri get popped? No, he does not.
And he holds his flash again. Madman. Holy moly.
Kixi is on bot side. They do have some ward pressure.
He should be going just straight for the dragon here, because they should know Jarvan's on the top side of the map. He has prio mid and
bottom. You have a vision on him now. But Godwick is possibly looking top side, but it does seem Ajuka does have the vision and is able to back off. He also has the level 6 advantage, so I wouldn't be surprised if Ajuka won the 1v2.
True.
It does seem Sinja's getting a quick recall in. They are taking drag at this moment. Godwick was shown topside, so it is a little bit of a free. Ronnie is sitting here in lane, keeping them both here. It just seems to be a two-man take onto drag. It has to be given to InfernoWolf.
And I believe regardless, if you look at the wave state bottom, that it's a slow push back to Ronnie no matter what, so he doesn't have to step up at all. And they know the enemy jungler's bot side, so they still have to play kind of cautious once they do push it up.
So it does seem both top laners are level 6, both mid laners are also level 6. Junglers should be funneling. It does seem Godwick does have the level advantage on Kixi right now.
Looking at the farm, top lane's got a yield 10 CS gap. As you just stated, Godwick is a little bit up on Kixi as well, about roughly 2 camps, since each one counts as 4. Mid lane's up a little bit on the Nico, despite the fact that there was a kill gone over and he had to recall and TP in. It's not as drastic as I would have assumed. And then bot lane, Brendan's keeping up the farm gap down bottom, but as we just said,
there's a little bit of damage onto Aguri. That's a lot of damage done. But can we also bring up Sinja's turning into Ashe to get that increased auto attack range to CS?
Oh, that's smart. I didn't even think about that.
That's a little bit more damage. Sinja's going for the R. That's flash on Aguri down, but he does have to recall. That's why you held the
flash. That's why you held it from the Viego gank.
It does look like Ajuka is getting some deep wards. He does have vision on him. Godwick is seen with the vision plant. Ajuka's kind of chilling in the bush that's warded. It does seem Smuggler's looking to make a play down. We also have Sinja and Kixi roaming over to the blue buff. It does seem to be a 3v2 at this moment.
Neither of them walked through the bush, so they don't know that the control ward saw him. So
Kixi is now on vision. They have no vision on Sinja. It does seem to be a little bit of stalemate. We have Smuggler roaming down, and Aguri roaming up. Ajuka and Kixi are stepping up. Kixi's getting jumped on. Kixi's getting bursted. Smuggler is right there, but it does seem that they are able to kill out Godwick and able to finish off Aguri as well. It does seem they're going to be going for the finish on Smuggler. That is a double kill for Aatrox.
That was tragic. Smuggler ended up holding his ultimate and he didn't get the kill right away. And then when he used it to finish off the Viego took the soul, and so he was invulnerable to damage. And so it just basically hit no one. Oh, that's a really rough go of it. And as well, Rift Herald's up now, so they could take that if he chooses, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
He's a little bit behind in farm, only 1 CS, but he is looking to get a little bit more pressure by taking his top side. Sinja also has wave shoved, so they can definitely look on to Herald right about now, but it does seem they might try to get recalls for items. Ajuka did get a pretty decent back. He's now got a Warhammer, as well as an extra longsword and boots with that recall. So definitely a lot of gold now getting funneled. That's a 30 CS difference top. Smuggler's definitely going to be in a struggling situation from here on out.
Do you think Ajuka here goes straight into a cleaver just sitting on the Dirk, or do you think he goes into the Eclipse first?
I think definitely a cleaver wouldn't be a bad thing into a Malphite, especially him running a bunch of armor. However, Duskblade is a little bit really strong right now as well as an option. It does seem to be a little bit of trade up here. Aguri's getting caught out by Kixi.
Remember, he doesn't have flash, but he is casting, so he's got the Rift block.
He's going to R out. Kixi's going to follow up. Hits the stun! That's an R down by Kixi as well. That's Smite down as well. That's another R by Aguri. He gets out of the fight. There's an Ashe arrow also heading up.
Wow. Aguri got really lucky there.
I know it was down here. But Ronnie's doing some autos onto Brendan. This seems to be pretty even trading. It does also seem like they're taking Herald up top side while Smuggler's doing a quick little slow push while Sinja's also pushing into getting some tower damage. Godwick is looking a little bit bot side. There's a TP from Aguri. They're jumping in. There are down by Brendan. That's a damage. That's a Ronnie down. There's a TP as well. Sinja jumping in with the R. He's going to look to get out. That's R down by Godwick. Will they be able to finish Sinja anytime soon? Aguri's able to get the kill. That's 2 kills.
The big pickup. Big pickup. And
that's
that's
also trading down up top side. Ajuka's looking to do some damage on the Smuggler right now. Smuggler is able just to walk out while trading. We do have Dragon up in 27 seconds. So they're definitely, everybody's going to be up for drag. So just definitely going to be a look to do another team fight for that.
So the kind of awkward position for blue team here is, although they won the fight really hard down in the bot lane, they all had to reset, so red team should be able to get vision control over the dragon other than that scuttle crab. So they could set up preemptively for it, but it doesn't necessarily look like they're going to. But that is potential since Aguri still has to back, sitting on no mana. Smuggler's got no mana, so it's not like he's going to TP down into the fight. But they do just Rift Herald early.
Aguri doesn't have mana, but both top laners do have TP, so they might look to do some trading topside before the drag. Does seem there's some vision control going on with Brett. He does see the control ward. Both bot laner, both Brendan and Bloodline are going on to Brett. They do not see Kixi yet. They're trying to back off Kixi. That's Ash Arrow down and flash on this from Sid. There's a TP going. It does look to be Malphite TP, and Smuggler's able to get the kill on Brett. We also have a Juka in the bush coming down. We have Sinja roaming a little bit faster. Both Aguri and Godwick are not there. There's an R for Smuggler, able to shut down the Aatrox. Kixi's going in for the ultimate, able to get the Malphite. Wow, that's a really hefty shutdown for Brendan.
That was a really sloppy fight. So they went in and get a pick, and then as soon as the TP happened, they should have backed out, but Brett was seeing red like a bull against a matador and kept going forward, got caught, then they went on the Malphite, but then Ajuka went too far forward as he went to engage, which he didn't have to do, and then he got caught out, and it was just like back and forth and back and forth. It was really awkward, but it came out with, red team getting the dragon and kind of going back to what they were doing previously. So right now they do have this, as we were talking about in the Champion Select, the scaling of the teams are both pretty solid. But right now, red team does have 2 dragons up, which is pretty big for the late game, unless the game goes super long.
Kixi's looking bot side. We got God with a 3v3 in the bot side right now. It does seem that TSI is just looking to back off while Brendan does some CSing. We also have a little bit of trading mid lane. Sinja's looking to shove as much as he can. Juka's trying to get as much damage on the Smuggler as he can as well.
So I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on the Static Shiv Varus build?
It is very, honestly, in my opinion, it's really good in the position that they are in. They have a very slow bot lane. It allows him to CS efficiently. If we look at it, he's currently up 23 CS on the Ashe, so it's definitely coming into play. I definitely do believe it will be a little bit of an AP Varus, as we're seeing. He's currently building Nashers.
Holy moly, I knew it. I would say, usually, I don't like the Static Shiv, especially, awkward W, Static Shiv on Varus, but the fact that they don't have any wave clear outside of that, it becomes such a huge purchase.
So Juka is taking the blue buff under their noses. Godwick's going to be a little disappointed when he turns that corner, but it does seem Sinja's going to look to damage Aguri. Aguri's ult is on low. Sinja is able to miss that, but they should be able to take the turret here.
And that's such a huge, huge objective to take. That has to be the best objective in the game, just because it
Kixi knows he's there. He might be looking to go for the stun here. He's holding it off for a second for the back. Ajuka does have priority topside. Godwick is looking to possibly make a play topside. They have no idea where Kixi is. Kixi's looking for Godwick. Godwick's just going on to Ajuka. That's R by Smuggler. That's double R. Ajuka's going to R here. His Q is about to come off cooldown. There's some healing down. Kixi's able to deal a little bit of damage. That's a pick onto Godwick. They're going to commit for the Smuggler. That's R by Soraka. They are able to finish the pick off.
And right there was a really, really awkward thing that just happened. It's The
Oh,
not
Aguri's about to
playing.
walk into
Oh, wait.
Sinja, able to R, but still gets rooted. Ajuka's going in for the damage, and does looks Kizi's jumping on it, and that's even more damage.
Holy moly!
And Aguri's picked off as well post-fight. They are able also to get the tower.
I was gonna say that was a big thing where Godwick on the Jarvan, he didn't drop his ultimate, and so Smuggler couldn't get out of it. And I feel like that's just Warwick doesn't have that mechanic, so you're not thinking about it all the time. But that might have cost them the kill.
Does seem Brendan's going for the R. That's an Ash arrow to stun. Ronnie's healing a lot from Brett. That's a lot of damage going through. It does seem that they're just going to even off with using the heal on Brett and the R on Brett.
Yeah.
They started at half HP, and they're still at half HP.
It looked like there was a really crazy fight that happened, and it ended.
But barely
exactly
anything happened.
Yeah. Absolutely wild.
It does seem that Inferno does have a lot of control on the map right now. They have all their areas warded. They have 3 control wards currently on the field.
And the next objective is Rift in 5
so
seconds.
They definitely have positioning for that. Smuggler seems to be walking up. He's going to see the control ward and look to clear it. Yeah.
Yep. No big, no big. Okay.
There, you're a little bit ahead of us.
We're about 1 second behind.
Right. We're
39,
40.
40.
1640.
All right, red.
Alrighty.
Oh. It looks like they got the Rift Herald for free, pretty much just because they were preemptively there, setting up the objective.
Well, it does look like Godwick's going to jump onto Brett here.
And that's a pretty big ultimate, but also a big flash
down
for the
right
upcoming
before
team
drag.
fight.
We got 24 seconds. That will not be up in time. We are looking at an 80-second cooldown on Godwick's R. But it does seem Ajuka's keeping Smuggler pushed in. Ajuka's going to be roaming to clear some of those top jungle.
He's keeping that 50 CS lead pretty much the whole game so far. It's really impressive from Ajuka. I know Malphite isn't exactly the best duelist at all times, but that is very clean. And they preemptively put down the Rift Herald so that blue team is forced to either answer the Rift Herald push or go to the Dragon. It doesn't look like they were going to the Dragon regardless, but it's still a good play to be made because second Rift Herald isn't very
Seem they to possibly get Soul Point. There's not much contesting. Godwick's not even going to look for a steal. This is a really bad position for TSI to be in right now.
I will say it's pretty awkward to give up third Dragon, but I don't think there was anything they could have done to stop that realistically.
That Viego is way too ahead right now to be contested with. And then Sinja's in a very strong position right now as well. Got Ludens, got Boots. He can definitely do a lot of damage, even if he is the assister this game.
So then, we're 18 minutes into the game. There's pretty much a 5k gold lead right now for the red team. In your opinion, what do you think blue team has to do to get back into it or to win the game in general?
They definitely are playing the slow game right now. They're scaling with the Kassadin. They just need to take it slow. There's still 4 more minutes until Roa's maxed out. They also got Varus scaling a little bit. So I think definitely waiting until Brendan's feeling comfortable with team fights is probably the best plan of action for them. They're going to start trying to cycle around them. We definitely... Oh, well, it does seem like Ajuka is Smuggler are trading topside right now. A lot of damage. Ajuka's doing a lot of damage now. He has Threadles and Duskblade, so there's a lot of damage coming out of those Qs. It does seem they're all positioned topside. They might be looking for Baron right off spawn, as well as an extra pick.
Oh,
Dead timers are around 25 seconds to 30 seconds, so they definitely got to wait a little bit longer before looking to get any picks.
Very aggressive build from the Aatrox.
Aguri is... He has TP, so does Sinja. Sinja does have the trade advantage right now, but it does seem he's taking it a little bit slow. They are pressuring mid side right now. The best plan of action for Inferno is to pick off the ADC, Brendan, or possibly even take out the Malphite early, poke him down. It seems they're shoving it in, so Smuggler has to farm a little bit. They are in very awkward positioning. Baron is up. All TPs are up on the map right now. Does see Majuka's trying to get a recall in. Keeksy's hovering, looking for a possible pick. Godwick's about to step up into Keeksy.
Oh, man.
Keeksy's able to jump in.
That's a big Asher on this
Majuka's going to commit to the Godwick kill. Turn it on to Smuggler. They do seem to be going on Sid. That's a pick on Sid. Ronnie's taking a lot of damage from Brendan, but Brendan's going to fall. That is going to be a Baron play right there. Ronnie's going to look to shove mid lane. While Aguri is still splitting bot side, Sinja did TP in that fight. Nirno, I don't think it was necessary.
And that's rough. That's a really rough situation for blue team to be in because they had no idea. They had absolutely no vision on the Barons. They didn't know if they were doing it or not. So Godwick felt pressured into walking forward just to make sure if they were doing it, maybe they could do something. But he just walks into control war.
Definitely a problem with vision when it comes to TSI right now. The numbers don't really match up to what kind of vision Inferno has, but their amount of control words that they're placing, the amount of timing they're placing their vision is a little bit stronger than it is on TSI.
The timing is big. The timing is a huge part. It seems like consistently Team InfernoWolf is always at an objective about 30 seconds, 45 seconds before, and are preemptively getting vision and control of that area, whereas TSI always seems to be on the back foot this game in particular, just because they don't have any real way to get a push. Top lane, the Malphite versus the Aatrox can't really ever get a push advantage there. The Cassin versus Nico, Cassin has to wait for Nico to push, and then he can, ult the wave or clear the wave with whatever. And so it's always kind of slow. And as you said, they are scaling. There is absolute potential to come back and win a huge team fight and completely swing the game. But this is Soul Point right here in 45 seconds. And
this is Soul right here for Inferno. And it's not a really good position for TSI to be in right now. It might be Cloud Soul, which is not the biggest thing. But if you take into consideration, Ajuka is playing Aatrox, and we also have a Viego. Both the movement speed from Soul will be huge for both of them.
Realistically, I think the play here for Red Team, this is going to sound crazy, but they shouldn't take the Dragon. They should let
They should be definitely pressuring lanes.
Well, the reason I say this, I don't think they should take the Cloud Dragon, because if they take the Soul, that puts Elder Dragon on the map when blue team has scaled and potentially could make a massive swing if they get it or steal Elder Dragon somehow. And
it's very true.
Like it's really scary if that's on the map.
Oh, it does seem that Sid's getting picked out by Sinja. That's a lot of damage. Brett's going to be doing the consistent.
Wow, I can't believe
Sid is able to heal up.
There.
It does seem that they are going to be taking drag, unlike what you suggested. Godwig is jumping in and getting picked. That's an Ash Arrow down and a lot of damage. That was an attempt of a...
Yeah, I respect it. It's a pretty desperate situation. It feels really rough, so I totally get it. Honestly, I probably would have made the same play. But
I'm definitely looking at what you said before. That is 6 minutes until Elder is up. Playing for Elder is a really huge thing if they survive to that point. They have Baron, they have Soul. He's in a very strong position.
Yeah, gotta survive, gotta make it there. Honestly, if they push in these waves and then get the inhib...
Oh, it does seem like Keeksy's jumping on the Smuggler. That's a lot of damage going down. Smuggler has barely any armor left. Oh, they are able to jump in. Sinja's getting picked.
That's one kill.
It does seem like Aguri's jumping onto Keeksy. He does have the GA, but they are able to step up here. Aguri's going to keep the fight going. Keeksy's jumping onto Aguri. That's a Godwick jumping in. Ashuka's now showing up to the fight. They're looking to trade up to Ronnie, but Keeksy's going in for the rock. They're able to park GA down. Godwick's still in a very unsafe position. Ajuka's now in the fight. Keeksy's still up. Aguri's getting flashed onto. There's a Q hitting the Raka. The R reset. Brendan's taking a lot of damage from Ajuka. They are able to pick Ajuka, but that will not be enough. Keeksy might go down to turrets. Keeksy goes down to turrets. That's a shutdown for the Malphite.
I will say that's big that the gold went over. It's just
Aguri's just looking to go in. He might be able to pick at the Ronnie, but he's looking to back off. That's a TP by Sinja, and not able to pick it. They might be able to just take towers and
that might be game.
Possibly end.
I was gonna say it's
We have
awkward
9
that all
seconds
three of
on
the
Sid
kills,
and
all
3
three of
seconds
them
on
went to
Godwick.
Malphite, but I don't think it matters. I think it's just over.
It's definitely a lot of
Unless
items. Godwick's able to jump in, able to take down Aguri. Sinja's gonna have to back off here. Sid is here rooting. Sinja's just gonna look to do the autos.
they have to
They
kill
are
Sinja
just
here.
looking for the auto. But
Oh
Godwick focusing
no!
Brett instead of Sinja. Oh,
Oh,
next game! Game 1
holy
going to
moly!
Inferno eSports.
What a fast ending! That was just
Oh, Godwick
boom.
focus Brett rather than the person going to be dealing damage to the Nexus.
Honestly, I don't know if they would have had the damage to even kill him at that point. Like it would have been close, but holy moly!
I
Still, the
think they
CC are
definitely could have
jumping.
killed Sinja and then turned on Brett and
Yeah.
possibly not ended the game. But that's game 1 going to Inferno. Looking at the post-game stats, we're definitely looking at the most damage coming through with Ajuka. We also have Keeksy doing a lot of damage, but not as much as Ajuka is. But it does seem that damage is all around even for Inferno, while damage is very focused onto both Brendan and Smuggler, with Brendan doing almost the most damage in the game, but got beat by Ronnie and Ajuka. Now, also looking with when it comes to gold was really funneled into Ajuka and Keeksy in most of the game. Brendan wasn't too far behind. He beat gold and versus Sinja, Ronnie, and Brett, but I guess that gold wasn't enough since both Sid and Godwick were fairly behind in gold compared to the rest of the game.
So speaking of which, since you're talking about gold right now, remember what I said in Champ Select or in the loading screen. It seems like the red team has a lot more potential to snowball just because there isn't really anywhere for the Jarvan to go. Malphite, he made one play up topside and they didn't get the kill, and then they all died for it. He went mid, wasn't able to do anything into the Nico. Went bottom, wasn't able to do anything into Ash Milio. It was a really difficult game specifically for Jarvan because it kind of felt like it was a farming play for late game kind of team, and he's a super early game focused jungler, so it's just kind of awkward. But let's see if maybe they can get a big old swing and change it for the next game.
Definitely, we're definitely looking at some changes here. I think we'll it's definitely going to be a lot of work to get things turned around for TSI. So we'll definitely see what's happened. We'll take a short break while we're setting up the lobby and as well as the draft. We'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty, we're back for round 2, game 2.
In it to win it.
All right, this could be all or nothing. But got a TSI, I believe, can come in. We'll switch over to draft. This looks like draft is starting here soon. Sorry about last game. We were kind of being mind readers and fortune telling the game. If you guys could not tell from us saying it 5 seconds beforehand, we're gonna try to fix that this time around. We got a couple seconds before draft starts, but talking about last game, we're definitely gonna need to see some change in comp for TSI. They tried to do a different kind of team fight. It didn't really work out for them well. Inferno was able to run that snowballing comp and play it properly. They played around their jungler, played around their top lane, let bot lane play safe, and they were able to really pull it through. And this last minute sub definitely was a huge impact. I feel really bad for TSI. That last minute sub with Kingsley's gonna definitely threw them off.
True, but I believe they have the ability to mentally reset and get back into this game.
Definitely. Judging from
like
one of
they're going to be swapping. Sorry, go ahead.
We have a side swap for TSI. TSI is taking red. So we'll see some counter picks coming through. I'm curious to see if there's any band swaps. Maybe an Aatrox ban might come through. I don't know why we're still doing Season 1. Ban out Sinja. It is kind of, in my opinion, a waste of time. There's a lot more aggressive bans and a lot more important bans to go through for their team.
And I was going to say, personally, I believe that the Ashe or the Milio ban, without a doubt, is going through.
I think, definitely with them having blue, Ashe needs to be banned. If they don't ban Ashe, it's a guaranteed first pick again. They're definitely not going to be prioritizing bot side, especially with how strong their top, mid, and jungle are. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how this goes and what changes will be made.
I think recap. Also... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just going to recap last draft.
I was just going to say that I think it's interesting because it seems like Sinja plays a lot of Assassinate champions. He hovered the Akali, the Katarina was banned, he picked Kassadin. So Lissandra does really well into all three of those. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they pick like a second or third pick Lissandra here. To go
definitely go with current draft. We got an Anivia and a LeBlanc banned first round. It does seem like the Lissandra's going through now. It probably was their first ban, and they were not able to make it last game. It does seem a cat ban is also coming through, so mids are being targeted again. Let's see if a Vigar comes through.
I think if it's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Does seem that they're going to have to give off one more. The ban still goes through all the games.
Oh, for real? Oh, it's all games, not just the first one?
It's not just the first one. All right. So I just see Milio was banned. They might change the Lissandra to Vigar. They might not. Okay, yep. They are switching the Vigar in for the Lissandra. They were not aware of the first round ban. And there is the first pick for Ashe.
Whoa, didn't see that coming. Okay, and the Milio
what a shocker! Milio is banned, so they might run something a little bit different. Thresh is still in the game. They might throw in an extra little support, or they might do a little bit of roaming. They do have
last time, Inferno or whoever, what's the right team? Is that TSI? They banned the Braum instead of the Milio.
Yes, so Ashe was Braum is actually able to be picked this game. It does seem that Varus is getting picked again. The Varus versus Ashe lane. We're seeing this again. I was hoping for a little bit
in my
more.
mind, it was like that they were swapping what team had the picks, but no, it's exactly the
No,
same.
no, it's the exact same as of now. Nothing has changed. Both first picks are first picks,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't be surprised to see a support change. Oh,
And
it does look
that's
like
what I
they're
was
just grabbing the
expecting.
Sejuani. Here comes
Yep.
the alt comp wombo combo
I
for
expected that
TSI.
fully. Yeah.
They
I think
love
it's a
this
lot
wombo
better.
combo between Varus, Sejuani, and possibly Alessandra. And there is the Braum. They're letting the Braum through. It is going to be probably a wombo combo versus wombo combo comps. This might be an actual entertaining game to guess.
Implying the last one wasn't this guy.
It was entertaining. There was a lot of good moments.
I will
We're
say
definitely looking at some wombo combos.
I think the Milio ban is slightly better than the Braum ban, just
It
because it
it
keeps her
stops
topped off.
disengages. Right.
But
The
the Braum
Milio
is still brutal. Don't get me
Braum
wrong.
stops a lot of damage with his shield and can be very impactful. So I'm fairly curious. There's the Poppy pick for Kixi. We did see that in his pool. So it does seem to be a wombo combo versus wombo combo. And I'm excited.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't just pick the Viego again. I mean, it was so dominant game one, unless it's specifically for fighting the Sejuani. But Viego even like dumpsters her, so I don't quite know. But do you
Seems to be a
think?
possible Rumble flex pick for mid and top.
I was gonna say if they do pick it, do you think it's more likely top or mid? I don't know who plays what on
I've
TSI.
never seen a Guri play it, and I won't lie, I don't even think Smuggler plays it.
That's what we
Looking
like.
back,
That means it's support Rumble, baby.
so it does seem it is played top side. I do not have any knowledge of a Guri playing it, but there is a Nico ban. It looks to be a Silas ban instead.
And remember, they always could, if they wanted to, swap lanes mid and top. So it still could be a flex, even if it's, Smuggler playing it. But
Right.
interesting, they put more respect on Smuggler's name with the Renekton ban, despite the Rumble.
I think definitely get rid of the possibility of a counter pick. It is still a flex pick, a very strong flex pick at that. So they're not going to go lightly on it. Let's see what else they ban. They are, I guess, afraid of the Nico. The Nico was impactful last game. Even if Sinja wasn't the one getting kills, it still put a lot of pressure on.
True. I think the Nico ults were pretty big, but this is a surprising ban. I think there's very low chance.
The idea that the Poppy could be possibly played top, I don't know why it would be picked top over, because it is a Sejuani, and Poppy does fairly well into Sejuani.
It just seems kind of strange. I understand it because it was so problematic the previous game, but it's still just kind of awkward since it's most likely Poppy jungle.
But it still can be very much a flex and can be very much.
So then, if this is the case, that means red team picks first. Do you think they pick their? I mean, they should pick. I would assume.
So that was the last one was a Lissandra ban, and the second ban was a Vigar ban. But it doesn't really matter at this point since they both are bans on the board. It does seem to be a Raka again for the Varus Raka. They like that combo. It seemed to work really well last game, just the other lanes kind of fell behind, so they weren't able to keep it going. A little upsetting that they don't have any wombo combo with the support in jungle, but we're still looking at it. And there's the Aatrox coming through possibly once again. The Renekton's banned, so Aatrox can shine. But I would really love to. The Rumble doesn't do bad into Aatrox, but if this man could just pull out of the hat a Kled and just go crazy on this Aatrox.
It's kind of clunky because Rumble's Q range is about the same as Aatrox Q1 and 2. So he has to actively play towards Aatrox's strength. I still think it's okay.
And that's a Syndra for the last pick for the blind mid pick. We're definitely looking at.
It has to be Rumble top if it's Syndra mid. He doesn't play the game in mid lane. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. Yeah. That possible Malzahar. This is a very. They took the wombo combos and kind of switched them up a little bit. Of course, Lissandra's banned, so Malzahar is definitely a better pick. I feel like there had to be a lot of other options instead of Malzahar, but they're looking to shut down this Aatrox and Poppy from getting
My
onto the bot lane.
assumption is that they're playing to lock down on top of Rumble ult. That just has to be the game plan, but that means it feels like they seem to be relying a lot on the Rumble damage. And also, just looking at the team comp, they've got Sejuani, who does mostly magic. They have Malzahar, who does all magic. They have Rumble, that does all magic. They have Soraka. So there's no way Varus goes the same build.
It forces Varus to either go on hit or lethality, which I won't lie, there isn't a lot of tanks, like hard tanks on Inferno, unless Poppy builds full tank, which is a possibility. But I'd rather see a Divine Sunder Poppy. I'd rather see a Poppy that's able to shut down the Sejuani really hard and able to get onto this backline. We might even see a Duskblade Poppy, but with the Aatrox being topside, if with the Aatrox being topside, that also is where the lethality lies. So I'm very enticed to see what happens here with their builds, because whatever Poppy builds, whatever Varus builds, is going to really determine what makes or breaks the game. And
say something interesting with the Rumble Aatrox matchup in particular that I was just thinking about is that Aatrox, if he goes full lethality, he's potentially going to get absolutely one shot.
I think a definite Hex Drinker has to be built early.
Yeah, but it's just
if he doesn't build Hex Drinker, he's the amount of damage Rumble can get if he gets the slightest bit of lead is insane. So they might just play topside. This might be a double topside focus while leaving that bot side completely alone. But I will say this, for TSI to be able to take this win, Godwick needs to be more of a presence on the map. Kixi was such a huge presence last game that it kind of just shuffled into the rest of his teammates to be more aggressive and be more everywhere. And with Godwick not being as out there on the map and having as big as a map presence, it kind of just made things really slow for TSI. So if anything is to happen, I think that the game is in the jungle's hands with these comps.
I think potentially it could be in Ajuka's hands as well this game. Or sorry, not Ajuka.
This the top lanes.
No, Malzahar. I'm blanking on his name. Aguri.
I think if for sure. I feel like it's really hard for Sinja and Aguri to roam with the champs they have. It's definitely lane pressure. Malzahar's a lot better at staying in lane than Sinja is. So definitely whoever wins lane is going to be really big pressure, but it is going to be probably a farming simulator. But the spotlight is on jungle and top lane for sure this game, unless for some reason one of the bot lanes just decide to pop off and go insane.
So just looking at the comps right now, as you said, top lane focus, I pretty much 100% agree with that. I think Kixi also has potential to go bottom with the Braum, but
definitely but that's going to have to probably wait till level 6.
Yeah, it's still kind of awkward because of the fact that you need all the auto attacks for the stun, and Poppy can't. I mean, Poppy doesn't do anything against Varus Soraka. It's not like they have dashes anyway.
So I think we'll head over. We'll do one last recap of this. So it is an Aatrox, Poppy, Syndra, Ashe, Braum for InfernoWolf. TSI has Rumble, Sejuani, Malzahar, Varus, Raka. There's going to be a lot of wombo combos. There's going to be a lot of team fights. Also a lot of poking. Whoever gets picked is really going to be in a bad position. We're going to head over to a break real quick. See you guys in a minute. So we're definitely. Can we mention something real quick? When did they change Poppy's splash art for this skin? I never noticed that they changed it.
For
Lollipoppy. It used to be the creepy, and it's no longer the creepy.
So they changed it with her rework. I'm gonna put a pause because it looks like we're already fighting.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it does look to be a poke. Oh, Sid is having to flash with the Braum, also flashing on top of that. So both supports are down flashes. No other sums were used. It does seem Raka didn't get any gold from it, but there was a little bit of first strike gold for the Syndra as well as.
I will say something really awkward is that Poppy did start with E, so they're for sure gonna have to have a leash.
That definitely is a leash.
That's just a real feels bad initially, but it looks like they're getting the Aatrox leash, so it shouldn't be a problem.
It does seem to be a blue side, both sides. I'm curious to see if there's a possible invade. Poppy does have the damage early on against the Sejuani, but Godwick is very comfortable on Sejuani, so we might be able to see something different.
I will say this is super interesting because it's literally exact replica of last game, but the teams are swapped. Because last time Godwick was on the blue side, starting where Poppy is now, and they started double blue last time as well, so they're going to be reverse clearing of each other. It looks like they are going for an invade, though. Is he going to flash the wall? What
he is flash the wall. He's going straight for that red buff while he's full clearing. What a steal!
He's got Hex Flash as well, so I mean it's not that bad.
It's not that big of a loss for him. It does seem that Godwick is just doing his full clear. He's going to be disappointed once again to see another one of his camps gone.
Oh my God,
we have Ajuka and Smuggler trading topside. Smuggler should look for that level 2, but doesn't. Ajuka does look for a level 2 play there. Smuggler does have a little bit of damage advantage. There's a little bit of.
Do you think Keegsy goes for gank here?
Possibly.
It looks like Keegsy's going up top right now.
Keegsy's going for Smuggler. He's right there. Smuggler's cut out. Keegsy's just going to go for it.
To be a stunt.
He's gonna look for it. Does not hit it. Smuggler does a really nice flash to get out of there. Keegsy held the trigger for way too long.
Yeah, just a split second, and that stun went away. But whoa, that was
while we were doing that,
brutal.
Ronnie was taking a little bit of damage down there, so I'm a little bit curious on what their play is here, as they seem to be poking. It seems to just be Sidblood that's poking down Ronnie.
It looks
mid lane. It seems to be a little bit of farming. Aguri is just permanently shoving into Sinja, but Sinja's out farming him. Other than that, it seems to be pretty even farming. Other than Brendan struggling to farm.
Looks like bottom's going for maybe a cheater recall here, which they
it does seem that Godwick is looking bot side. There is no vision to know that he's there.
It's just an
unfortunate. It does seem that Brendan might have called it off. They are looking for a double recall.
Yeah,
they are looking for a top play again with. Does seem that Ajuka's going into Smuggler. Smuggler is getting CC. Smuggler doesn't have flash. Keegsy is there. He's going to go wait. The damage is going to wait for the assist. There is Keegsy going in. Keegsy misses his Q. Smuggler is able just to walk.
And
but that is
should give it to Ajuka.
Smuggler wasting time. Ajuka is able to get the first blood. Godwick is taking Raptors, though, to kind of make up for that. Brendan and Sid are kind of doing a slow push. Ronnie will be able to get there in time. Syndra is looking a little bit lower on the HP department, but Aguri is looking lower on the mana department, so not much else is going to happen.
I will say it's
Godwick is able to take the red for red, but Brett's trying to stop him. Oh, it looks like Keegsy's looking for a play onto Aguri right now. Syndra's going to look for the stun. Keegsy's going in. Keegsy knocks him, and that's a kill for Keegsy.
Wow.
Already right now, Keegsy is playing the more aggressive jungle for sure.
Wow. So I will say it's really awkward for the Smuggler death up there because Keegsy took blue to enemy red and ganked, went to his Gromp, and then went back top. In a normal situation, there's no way Poppy should still be there, so I totally understand Smuggler playing super aggro. But the thing is as well, he's got Ignite and doesn't have TP, so he's playing for lane presence, but because he got double ganked within 4 minutes, it's really brutal. And then it was good on Godwick to go for the invade on the Raptors, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get more, given the fact that Brett came up and defended the red buff for his jungler.
It does seem that Kixie is in a very huge map presence already without even losing his red buff to Godwick. And Juka's in a fairly strong spot. He now has serrated Dirk, so he has the damage advantage on Smuggler as long as he doesn't get poked out. Drag is up. It does seem that Kixie is doing a recall. He might just straight head to Drag. Oh, it does seem that he might be looking to make a play topside again.
Yeah, it is really awkward for Kixie to go bottom side here since he just cleared the bottom side. So if they're not able to immediately take it, he's just wasting a ton of time since he doesn't have anything to do. But as we stated at the beginning, this does seem like a topside focused thing, and as you see, both junglers are walking up, but it's just a 1v1. Holy moly!
It does seem that a kill just went through. It does seem that Ajuka was able to pull off a kill onto Smuggler, just doing a basic R combo.
Yeah, he hit the level 6 power spike.
And then they end up taking Drag bot side.
And they invade on the blue as well, and Sedge can't really do anything with no prio bottom. It's kind of brutal. It does seem like this is very similar, like this is very, very reminiscent to Game 1, where the Team InfernoWolf just played together and invaded Godwick together and just kept getting more and more pressure as basically a cohesive unit. Meanwhile, top lane dies again.
Same exact play topside, and Juka's just bullying Smuggler out of the game.
And at this point, honestly, Kixie doesn't ever have to go back up. He can just play 4 objectives and then play for mid-bot, and Juka should be fine.
I need Juka to we need Juka to calm down for a second. Like, we're trying to look at elsewhere on the map, and he's just permanently going on to him whenever he comes.
Let us talk, bro. Holy moly!
It does seem that Juka's going to be proxying. It does seem that they have the level advantage in the bot lane right now. Brendan's looking to shove. Brett just hit level 5. Ajuka's just looking to do another R combo on his Smuggler, but Smuggler has Godwick. Are they able to get the shutdown? He goes, Ajuka to get the kill. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Oh, it's tragic.
Oh, Kixie's able to come in and take it, but Ajuka just turned with this all Q3. Oh, beautiful. Kixie's just outplaying.
And the red buff too as a consolation prize. Oh,
this is turning very miserable.
We're at 834.
835. Oh,
what?
Wait!
All right,
that's such a huge difference. All right, we're gonna a little bit.
Where are you at? Hey, rewind all that. You didn't hear anything.
All right. So you just saw the double kill. Whoa!
Holy moly! Double kill. Oh, he spoiled it.
Wait, what are you at?
835. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We're on time now. All right, sorry about that. A little bit of difference. We kind of got sped up there a little bit. All right, we're back. We're back on time. We won't be doing any of that. But it does seem like they're back to what we were saying. We just got a mythic, the first mythic of the game, going on to Ajuka. Got the Duskblade. It does seem to be a tank Poppy. We got Jock Shows being built on Sejuani. And
I will say
looks like they're looking at Herald right now.
The tank Poppy seems very good here, just because they have plenty of damage, especially now on the Aatrox. Plenty from Syndra, and Ashe is just going to be, from the back line. So
it
Poppy
does
just
seem
has to be a menace.
to be a Kraken Slayer Varus coming into this game, so it might be on hit or crit, one or the other. But Kixie's just still playing this Invade game, taking whatever camps Godwick does not have vision on.
It's wild to say that Godwick is still up on CS just because of the fact that Kixie has done so many cheeky ganks, cheesy stuff where they had to give up camps for it, and Godwick was able to farm. But
this is not a 2v2 they should be looking at right now.
Yeah.
But they're looking at it. They're just jumping on the Kixie. That's an ult going down by Smuggler. Oh, Juka's just going in with the ultimate.
Yeah,
Kixie's taking a little bit of damage, but Godwick's just getting bursted down. That's a pick for Juka. Juka's now 5-0.
A little ambitious, one might say. And they're gonna maybe get the Rift Charge.
Oh, something happened bot side, but Ronnie and Brett are
moly.
able to do just enough damage to turn the poke
flash
fight
forward.
into theirs. Ronnie's able to get the double kill bot. It does seem that InfernoWolf is about to snowball game 2.
All right. I asked this question last game. At 18 minutes, we're at 10 minutes this time. It is 7K up.
10-0. Not a single kill has gone into TSI. TSI is in such a bad position right now. It's not even enough to say scaling will get them out of this. They need something. They need picks. They need shutdowns. They need something to happen, whether it is a Guri roams up and tries to make a pick onto this monster of a champ that Ajuka has become on Aatrox, or they need to start looking for the 5v4s before Ajuka even starts going to stuff. Like, I'm scared to stop watching Ajuka because he might just go for another kill.
True. And I mean, on top of being 5-0, with that comes as well, you know, the 40 CS lead up top lane.
It's 36, now it's at 40. It's a huge CS lead. The gold lead is just phenomenal just for top alone. That's probably it doesn't look like a lot, but there definitely is a 2K gold, 3K gold lead just in top lane alone.
I will say, on the positive side, for red team, with the gold lead, there are a lot of bounties on blue team to potentially grab on the Ashe.
Just seem an Ashe arrow goes down, hits the Sejuani, and Ajuka and Brett are just jumping in. That's Sejar down. It does seem as well Kixie's just soloing the drag as we speak. Akuri goes for reward. This is a very bad position for TSI. Ajuka's just able to go where he pleases. He might as well be playing Mundo right now. It just seemed that Sid's about to be picked off by Brett. Brett's just going in for the autos.
Tunnel vision on the control ward. He got it though. He got it.
Sid is able to get the last hit.
Hey man,
he is able to get the ward.
Supportal.
It does seem that they're playing up on the Godwick. They're just playing crazy pressure at this point.
Yeah.
Screw laning. They're just going for kills.
I will say
they're able to get a stun off the double stun. Godwick is able to get out.
Them going so aggressive is working, and it's snowballing super hard, but it also has the downside of they could throw by being either too cocky or too far forward.
Curry hitting the plant, knocking Braum to get a tower shot.
Like that. Which, it doesn't seem likely that a throw will happen, but there is always potential, you know?
They are looking onto Aguri right now. Aguri is overstepped. Kixie does have the movement speed advantage. It does seem that Kixie gets his ankles broken. That's flash on Aguri. That's a stun. Kixie's just going to go for the knockup. And there's another kill onto Aguri. He tried his best.
Ajuka behind the tier 2 tower.
It does seem a tower dive onto Sid. Oh no, Ronnie's able to just get another kill on the tower dive. Brett, well played, getting the R off, getting the stun off with the Ronnie also hitting R. It does seem that Godwick is losing all of his camps at this point. This is going to start turning into Godwick not being able to farm for quite some time. It does seem to be a possible play onto Smuggler. Smuggler's able to get the flash off to get out of there, but they're just going to say, screw it, this tower doesn't exist. Kixie gets out with his life with Ignite going down. This is no bueno for TSI.
Man, oh man, this is just, it's rough, man. They don't get to walk up. Godwick is just getting choked out of his own jungle and has been all game, but like especially now. Smuggler can never walk up. He's not even on an item yet. Not even thinking about armor. He just wants any semblance of damage.
Godwick. They get ahead, they're impossible to stop. But if the second they're behind, it becomes a problem. Oh wait!
Big shutdown.
Brendan is able to get it, but it doesn't trade!
The trade kill is super worth it. So insanely
It is definitely.
worth
The
it.
shutdown is huge. That's a nice shutdown for Brendan. Maybe they're able to turn that into something, but it's gonna have to be some more shutdowns coming through.
Smuggler's going to look to stop Ajuka's back. We also have a Curry stepping up topside. They know he's in the bush. That's some damage. Smuggler's taking a lot of damage right now. Smuggler R going down. Ajuka's flash is down.
Okay.
Also topside. That's an R down. Smuggler's going to be looking at damage. That's a...
As long as he doesn't
Curry's R, and they're able to There's another shutdown going on to his Curry. This is some good
the
turns.
bounties, man.
Senja's definitely looking to do some damage. We also have Kixi coming up, but it's looking to be a 5v3 right now. Kixi's going on to Godwick. Senja's R is down. That's a pick on to Godwick. It does seem that they're going to let this slide. Curry's looking to do some damage, taking the camps. That's some damage on the Senja. Senja's rooted now.
Those 2 kills are so massive. It's insane.
They're definitely very good turns. The gold is in who they need to be. The Malzahar as well as the Varus. Wouldn't have mind if the Rumble got it to get his item, but he's not in a really good position to take the gold and get in the position. It does seem that they are looking to take Herald here. Senja's going to be looking for a recall.
And as a lesser thing that most people don't think about, especially in team competitive play, those kills potentially could be so much bigger solely for the mental side of things. It's like, we have a chance. We were making a comeback. We got a little bit. Let's push it, you know? Most people don't think about that, but the mental side of this game is so insane that there is a lot of potential that they could have a big team fight swing with ultimates if Ajuka doesn't show up, or if someone steps up too far to get an extra ward like Bredicus potentially right here.
It still is an 8 KD difference right now. It's still 16-2. There still is a whole entire 10k gold difference on the board right now.
But
and it does look like they're able to get another pick off. That's a really good R stack Q damage for Brendan. This is not looking very good for Inferno. They're giving the wrong shutdowns to the wrong people. But it does seem that Inferno does have position for drag. It does seem Godwick's going to be looking bot side with a Guri that's flashed down on Ronnie, but that's also R down on Godwick. It does seem they have Sid stopping the Herald, but it won't be enough.
Out of stopping is a bit of a generous term.
It does seem Godwick stepping up possibly for this drag. This is Soul Point. It looks like they're just going to be giving it. Rumble's getting some free farm topside. He might have item now. We might see first item on Rumble.
Big. We'll see.
And it is Night Harvester. All right, Rumble's in the game. But we are still missing item on the Raka, and Mythic is coming in soon with the on-hit Varus. We still don't have Mythic on Sejuani either. We need Sejuani pumping up. But it does seem like Kixi's looking to make a play onto Godwick, just doing some face rush trading. They need to be careful now. Malzahar is able to get the R off onto Kixi. They're looking to be doing some damage. Kixi having to combat flash out of there.
I think the idea there was good, but it was just his team wasn't in position.
This is huge. That's a stun going down. That's a lot of damage. Juka's able to do damage, but they are in the Rumble R. Kingsy's looking to die.
Another shutdown. Another shutdown. That's
Brendan's getting all the shutdowns right now. This is really good for them. Ashe is alone in the mid lane, able to get the tower.
Crazy enough, he's also up on CS. Like,
it does seem that there is a Radiant Virtue on the Sejuani instead of the Jock Shows.
Probably for the best. I think that's a good play.
I don't like it. I won't lie. I'm not a big fan of the Radiant Virtue over Jock Shows.
His main goal is to keep Rumble and Varus alive, no? So
I guess
as long as he does that, it's like his job is done, right?
I guess, yeah. I guess you can look at it. Varus is able to get Mythic. That is 2 items on the Varus.
It's looking better every team.
Varus is currently in the gold lead in the game when it comes to items. Well, never mind. Juka just took that lead with buying bot lane. But in bot lane, he's actually bombing right now with the gold advantage. It does seem to be just farming, splitting, pushing these lanes back into blue side. No towers have been taken for TSI, so this is very important that they start looking for the 5-man. We have Baron up in 1 second.
I will say in 3 minutes when this Dragon Soul comes up, if blue team does get it, that makes it exponentially harder for Red Team to win this game.
This is Chemtech Soul.
Which is tenacity and heal and shield power, right?
Oh, they take less with Soul. They take less damage and deal more damage.
Yeah,
so this can be very brutal for them. This seem Brett stepping up. Godwick's just trying to get some farm in.
And
it does look like Keeksy's looking to make some plays here.
Hurts, man. That hurts.
We have Ajuka and Aguri pushing lanes into each other. Not much trading is happening. Godwick might be looking to make a play down bot side. But it does look like they're just looking to start Baron. They are on a ward. They are all roaming. They have a decent amount of damage.
This potentially could be a big throw if they commit.
That is Ash Arrow down, hitting the Raka. They're doing a lot of damage. Just R and Flash is going through. Sid is down. They're down.
Still could be good with the Rumble ult. There's potential.
Oh, there's a Rumble going through it. Oh, the steal was incomplete.
Very, very close try, though. Very good try.
It was a well played with Brendan and Smuggler doing some damage. It does seem Ajuka's just going to go onto Brendan. Brendan's flash is down.
That flash is big, though, since Brendan's been the one getting all the kills.
Ajuka's able to do some damage to Smuggler right beforehand. It does seem they are wanting to push top in and mid in. Keeksy's looking to go in on the Smuggler and a lot of damage. Smuggler's going really low. That's R and heal for Raka down. And they are able to get their first tower bot side. But that won't be enough.
Objective bounties. So, right here, top lane's going to be pushing in when the dragon comes up, and mid lane's going to be pushing in. So realistically, what blue team should do here, after taking this inhib... I'll wait.
Big fight, but that Singe is able to pick off a Guri. It looks like Ajuka's still going in onto Brendan. Brendan's getting poked down. Sid flashing for the heal. Smuggler is going down as well. Godwick's about to follow. Oh, they're going to continue the tower dive. Sid's taking a lot of damage. Brendan and Sid are both one-shot. It looks like they're just looking to end the game here.
I was going to say that the smart play is to all reset and then push bottom together, but screw all that noise. Just kill them.
Brendan's looking to go for the kill, but getting stunned and getting damage in Fountain. It looks like that is game 2 and the series.
Holy moly.
That puts Team Inferno in for 1-1 for week 2 and TSI 0-2.
That was a pretty well coordinated Team InfernoWolves for sure. It seemed like they were consistently setting up around objectives, consistently playing together with getting priority and then pushing into the enemy jungle and just punishing them for it over and over. It was really well played.
Definitely looking at these games, I would love to state that Keeksy is the MVP in my eyes, all around player, playmaker, and everything. But we got to talk about Ajuka. Ajuka's Aatrox is so strong and so valuable for these teams. For this team, Ajuka on Aatrox is a must ban for the rest of the season. If anyone lets it through, it is a scary sight.
I just want to say that I think another potential MVP, and call me crazy, but Brendan played out of his mind this game.
I'll say he is definitely the runner-up. He is definitely
really good.
The ace for TSI tonight. He kept his own. He
so
kept
far
going.
behind, yeah, he popped off. I mean, obviously, blue team won this game, and Ajuka played crazy. Keegsy was doing really good. Sinja was playing well. Everybody on blue team was doing well.
They were in their groove tonight for sure.
Yeah, it was nice to watch.
I was hoping for 3 games, and I was hoping for TSI to make a wonderful comeback in game 2, but it definitely looks like InfernoWolf eSports was the dominant party in tonight's games.
I'm sure we'll see these two again in grand finals. No big.
I would love to see them there, but I won't lie. I'm being biased. Going to squads, going all the way. But definitely good games tonight. Well played, InfernoWolf eSports. Definitely turn around for week 1. I think we should definitely let's are we able to get moved into InfernoWolf? Or
sure.
let's bring
up to you.
Let's bring them in let's bring in Kigzy and Ajuka. Let's bring them in here and let's talk to them. Hello.
Hey, yo, what's up?
What's up, Ajuka? How do you feel? I mean, Aatrox.
I got to play the game.
Definitely. What's up?
Hello.
So you two tonight definitely were the spotlight stars in tonight's games. Definitely playing around each other. I want to talk about that game too. What was the decision making behind the double gank topside, or like the double positioning for topside in the early?
Well, I don't know why, but when you're like, anytime I see a solo laner, especially top lane, take ignite, you just kind of kill that person because they can't really do anything about it. And if they do, and if the other team tries to do something about it, they have to spend way too many resources to try to do it. Like ignite is good, sure, for mid lane, because it's a way shorter way like to get back to lane. But if you can just camp topside until your bot lane just don't die, and just hope they don't die, then you can just take over the map with it.
Definitely. Your positioning tonight in the jungle was phenomenal. You have anything to say about that?
All I'll say is game 2 when I told them to lock me Poppy and I said I'm taking my first thing that I'm doing is taking buff flashing over pit.
I saw that.
Adruka was like, what?
We didn't realize you had flax for the second we saw you flash.
They definitely got thrown off. I think they thought it was a Poppy top. But
I definitely think that was a possibility. I even said it when it was in draft. The Poppy could be a flex, but they definitely have a lot better picks for Ajuka still in open. I think definitely my problem with draft, and you guys did a pretty okay job, but the mid bans, like you guys just all focusing mid bans. Between Aguri and Sinja, we need to see some openings for other lanes. And I think you guys tonight definitely proved with InfernoWolf eSports, just triple, quadruple banning Sinja is not enough anymore.
Yeah, he didn't know what to play, and I told him you're playing Nico in game 1, and then I told him you're playing Syndra in game 2, and he kind of just like, oh, okay. And then in game 1, I don't know if you like when you saw, but when it was like just him and Melio up at the Nexus, and I was like, just kill the Nexus. He like turned around like trying to leave, and I was like, no, Nico.
Nico takes it. I was even complaining about. I was like, why is G4 focusing Melio? Like Nico does damage.
Hey, Nico's a jungler now, though. Like, it's not his fault.
So definitely GG's tonight, boys. You definitely were the stars. I will have to give MVP to Kigzy. That positioning, knowing where you needed to be, when to be, taking camps. You were out of vision. Like, you were taking Krugs when he was on Raptors type stuff. And it was very good. Well played. Definitely surprising substitute last minute, but it was definitely a very well substitute. So thank you guys tonight.
GG's, and hope you'll see similar results in the weeks to come.
Big. See you in Grands, boys.
Hey, Ajuka, when we make Grands, I'm playing Vayne jungle.
What about the Skarner mid?
And I'll be Ivern top. How about that?
There you go. Thank you. We'll play
Dark Horse. Something Dark Horse would never let me play.
Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure to check out the Discord, and we will see you guys all later. Bye.